Hello, 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 everyone. Mike Arnold's here, co-founder, Path Trading Partners, along with the not so much here, Bob Iacchino. Hello, Wavy. Thanks for putting those NVIDIA results in. We will probably just go over that in the stock segment on the next live stream. So if you can join again and put in some of those, we can look at a bunch of stocks next time. Hello, Abraham. Hello, hello, Christoph. Hello. Good afternoon, Tesla Force. Market shrugging off hawkish Fed minutes like it doesn't care anymore. I thought the minutes were pretty hawkish, and that was before the, this last high inflation. Remember, that was from last month, and that was before our massive inflation print and the strong jobs number. But it's already looking like people are pricing in the Fed's going to hike, and then they're going to have to cut next year. So that's what happens when you get to the market in this position. You have to trade what is, and bull mode once again. We're still caught in this sort of consolidation phase, trying to figure out the next move. I think the next major move is going to be lower, but you can sit and we can chop around for quite some time before that happens. I had the news up here, by the way. You can see here we went over to retail sales this morning. Industrial production a little stronger than expected. Stronger than expected capacity utilization rate. Business inventories came in consensus. And we will talk about the meeting minutes again. By the way, Bob, who can't be here today, put up this. It was one of the things he was talking about when he was here yesterday. And this is the savings rate. And you can see it's back down here to roughly pre-COVID levels. So the consumer has burned through their excess cash. And as he noted, the consumer spending was strong, but the inflation numbers are part of what bumped that up. Also, besides that massive adjustment I talked about, the retail sales is based off an increase in value, not just volume. So inflation had a big thing to play with that, and it was a massive adjustment. So let's see what else is going on before we get to that. You can see I think it viewed it as sort of dovish, though, because I thought the minutes were sort of hawkish, but you can see it's now favoring back to just a 25 basis point hike instead of a 50. So the market was definitely taking it as much more dovish. I didn't read it that way, but it doesn't matter. You got to trade what is your overall market map. Again, we can look at this during the stock segment, but a lot of stuff was pretty flat. Some stuff up a little, some stuff down a little. Your PayPal again down, Facebook again down. So these are continue to drop, and we'll have to look at those in the next segment. But if you see here, we have on the S&P. By the way, before we get to that, if you're new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting the like button. So let's see where we sit now. Let's see. Wavy. They think the worst of items you haven't even seen no rate increase. It's just where the market is right now. And this is still not a very bullish environment. I put back on the double targets. You can see we sold off this morning on the Russia-Ukraine stuff pretty much. No reaction to those, wow, I cannot think or speak today, that retail sales number, but then closing slightly up. Pretty much flat from yesterday's close, just a slight increase, still against the daily rotation zone. So just peeking back in on the shorter term, you see here hitting that target again, that double target. And so that is completely done in the S&P. Does this work at all? I have not had I was looking at a bunch of stuff after the close, including some earnings. Yes, it does work. So now you have a double top within here, and that does work. That does work on a little 1 hour time frame. So that just solidifies. We have a significant level already at 44.22, 44.23. You get below there, we're targeting 43.93 and then 43.77 area and then 43.62. The first two targets are within the candle body, so that is completely relevant. Stalling out again today. We had that double target and the 200. Simple. You can actually see that on the 4-hour too. So we do have another potential bearish play again, but you need below that 44.43 area to the upside. I'd just really be watching now at this point. Here's again harmonics. You want to use the harmonics. That would go, that's a nice pausing bar. So I'm going to use this pausing bar right there, but that gives us essentially 4,500 and 45.15 right there on the higher time frames. Again, that 4,500 is just above the daily rotation zone, which is really starting to flatten out more and more because we're in this consolidation. If we got above 45.15, I'm targeting the 45.40, 45.39, 45.40 with a prior harmonic level and a declining 50. So that's my bullish case. The bearish case is we start breaking below today's lows. Then we have another double. Before that, my other support is about 44.43. So if we started selling off before that, 44.43, and then this 44.22. So that's where we sit with the S&P, NASDAQ. Let's go to the 1 hour. Let's see how this plays out also with that potential double. That works too. So below 14,381, we got 14,249, so 14,250, 14,177, and 14,117 to the downside. To the upside. Come on. There we go. To the upside, let's just see. I'm looking. Still, I'll just leave this final target just up there for grids. 14,686. Above there, I would not ignore this 14,720. Then minor would be 14,748. Let's see how that plays in on the daily. Yeah, this 14,748 right at the top of the daily rotation zone. And then above that, my next major area would be about this 14,878 area. What do we have here? NASDAQ forming a bearish flag. What time frame are you looking at that on, Rich? Not seeing a huge bearish flag in my book. Nothing that I'd trade. We had this little double in here, which the reason I just ignored that, we had this temporary spike down right with the meeting. So this was volatility, but I still use these targets because that was just, I mean, this just was a quick gut reaction. And then we went through and actually triggered it. So I was using those targets. That's why those are still on there from the daily. You're looking at the daily. Oh, this. Yeah. That's actually right here is somewhat. I mean, we can keep an eye on it. Don't love it, but we can keep an eye. I mean, that would just be, you still have declining little initiating point, defining point. So that's a nice overhead resistance with that 25% harmonic on a rally. So we'll keep an eye on that. Let's see. Other than that, that's what I'm watching. I'm just watching if in case we roll over for those doubles to play out to the downside. And to the upside, I'm really focused on the top of those rotation zones. The Dow, oh boy. Oh boy. This Dow price action has just been atrocious in my book. Atrocious, I tell you. That's not bad right there. All right, so on a rally, about 34,930 area is my first target. Then I'm just targeting the 35,60 area. Above there, pulling these lines off. Above there, I'm going to 35,167 and 35,274. Let's just see how that plays out to the upside. Yes, got the 50 above there. Yep, that's about it. Then I'm going to about 35,400 to the downside. Again, we don't have really a double here. To the downside, I'm just watching about this 34,560. And then below that, I just go back to actually 34,275. Yeah, we can take, I know Cisco announced another buyback. Dash is ripping or going lower. I mean, Dash had horrible results. But who knows with this market? This market's just nuts. But you got to trade again. What is? Let's check in on our Russell. Pretty much not much going on. A little doji day. Still, I'm really keying off of this rally tomorrow about 21.11. I think on any strength we could hit the first target on that double and the 50 tomorrow. So that will be on any bullish move. That's the target. By the way, just above that, then you have 21.43. Seems like the markets decided to just react to the upside, even on the minutes were not. Yeah, again, a lot of things. That's why I like technical analysis better than anything else, because you can read something and say, "Oh, that's bullish, bearish," but you got to trade what is. Okay, you got to trade what is. You got to trade the momentum. You got to trade the breakouts. You got to trade everything. It doesn't matter what you think. The market's going to do what the market's going to do. So, I mean, that's where I'm sitting. So on a nice little up move tomorrow, I'm really going to be focused on that Russell. That could be a nice little play there. Crude, remember we've been bearish on this. We got the little run up this morning. Well, I've been bearish on this. I can't say we've been bearish on this. Again, I'm watching for the end of thing, and this pretty much confirmed that at least a short-term top now. You have to be careful with this because you get more Russia news, and again, this can rip your face off the upside. So tight stops on this, but I'm watching now for the pullback to 87 on crude. Finally, it looks like we're getting some of that bearish kick in with the divergence, with the Elliott wave of 5, DeMark sell, and some other stuff I'm following. So that was multiple sell signals on that. Gold, still just basing up here. This is actually sort of bullish with gold basing, holding above this prior resistance, becoming support. Now we have a really nice pausing bar right there. So that's going to give me my next target area. Should we break above 1884? And these can be used for some intraday bullish momentum. 1901 to 1907. Silver, again, I'm looking for silver to outperform at some point. But finally, again, prior resistance becoming support and trying to rotate up. But gold's been acting way stronger. Notes, I'm still watching to see if we get this temporary bottom put in inside day today. So I'm going to be focusing on yesterday's high and low. So break below yesterday's low would then, I'd be targeting 125.04. Break above yesterday's high, I'm then going to do a run towards this 126.25 area. Dollar index still sitting, weakening a bit, but still sitting in major consolidation. NVIDIA beat, yeah, with their guidance. I was looking at this earlier, and it wasn't fantastic. It's essentially already next quarter with what they're guiding for is not that strong. Crude had a lovely 15-minute double top. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, look at that. That was a nice little play out double top. I did not see that today. I was focused on too many other things. I'm sorry I missed that. Thanks for pointing that out to everybody, though. I mean, it's over now, but it's nice to see how that's a little double top triggered and then pausing, just spiking below there, then getting the pause, and then you're getting the next momentum move down. Thanks for pointing that out, Michael. Fantastic little double top pattern. I love these doubles. And this double from the other day, this little double here. If you learn to trade one thing, really master trading doubles. Can I check TBLT? What is TBLT? Tough built. I like to leave the stocks for the next session. So can we review? Are you going to be in the next session? We could review TBLT. We'll just peek. I'll just take, since this will roll into the way the Nasdaq again, because Nvidia is a pretty big player, but it's down just slightly. That's not major though. That's still within today's lows. We'll take a closer look at these. Dash. Wow. Wow. I'm actually surprised. Did they? I'd have to look more between the live streams at that, because was very weak. I mean, they had a slight revenue beat, but earnings missed big time, and they're up huge. It's just the let's see. Where do we have Tad Polovian dip buying? I mean, we're now we're punishing decent earnings and we're buying crap again. So that's the market we're still in. Yeah, Dash up 34%. I missed crude too. I can't get everything. Let's check in. What else do we want to look at right now? I'm just going to peek in. Still with this, I'm keeping an eye on Bitcoin to possibly roll over here. It did not bounce that much. I'm just taking a look because I don't want to cover this in the stock segment. But this key low from the 14th of February is what I'm watching, and we have pretty decent overhead resistance now. If it gets above 46.5, about 550, that's all off for me. Then I'll watch for continued rally. Same thing with Ethereum, watching these key lows. We do have potential doubles, so keep in mind anybody who's watching the cryptos, because Charlie Munger bought Dash. Thanks. I'd have to look again at that more. Let's see our key internals. I wanted to take a look at the ratios. Value to growth is pretty much still caught in this back and forth area. So I'm either watching for a breakout or a breakdown of essentially these two key levels on that one, and on this one. Tried to do a little breakdown play, but still closing above it. So I'm still watching those two key levels. What else does anybody want to look at? There's just not a lot. Everything is sitting in sort of, what should I say? We're still just caught in this, right in the middle of this pattern. Yeah, looks like Bob was correct. Choppy to the downside. I mean, that's going to be longer term. I mean, I'm still watching it for a rollover, but we got those double patterns in play. So if we start getting some selling pressure, then yeah, we could definitely see some more downside. Now we have two doubles to play out to the downside. So we already have the one that's triggered, and we have this other little double that has yet to trigger. And that little double is just returning to the first target area on the first double. Look at some ags for a change, sure. Let's look at some ags. Good idea. ZS2. Love me some soybeans. See, I'm bullish on, remember I watched that DBA. So I am overall bullish on a lot of ags coming up. Nice little return to the rotation zone. This was actually a buy signal today. By the way, this is a buy signal. Not only was it a return to the rotation zone, and I had a %B buy signal that was triggered with this rotation up. That's really nice. Again, there's no guarantees, but you have this prior resistance area, coming support, rising rotation zone. So it broke above there, retesting. I love those retest formations. One of my favorite formations there is. Let's do a little, I'd be watching here though. It's a little key minor resistance right here. You can see that right there, but above there, I would quick run to 163. Let's see, 163. 1634 area. And then above there, 1689, 1745 to the upside. Let's take a look at that longer term chart again. Look at this breakout. You can really see this strong breakout. So beans acting very strong. Again, this could keep running unless we get ideal weather conditions. But even with the growing season, with fertilizer being up so much, we're seeing some major inflation in ags. So going to keep an eye on that. What else do we want to look at? There we go, ZC. Here we go. Corn not moving yet, though, against this key resistance. So I have to see. Oh, look at all these top areas. We'll have to see. This could be a great play in corn, too. Above 660. That could be a very interesting play. Corn yet to break out above there. That could be very interesting. Anything else you're looking at, Christoph? But there's definitely going to be some ag plays. As I talked about before, DBA. Love DBA. If this doesn't break right now to new highs, I'll be watching, especially if we break back down. Longer term, I'm so bullish on this. If we break back down below 2080, I'm watching for a return to more of the weekly rotation zone before the next major run-up. But right now, you still have to trade with the trend. So keep an eye. I'd actually put DBA from the stock perspective on your watch list for because you can always trade agriculture things. If you don't trade the futures, just trade it through DBA. What else do we have? That's really all I'm seeing. Look at Nat Gas, sure. Oh, I wanted the NYMEX ones. There we go. Not MOX, I want NYMEX. There it is. Nat Gas, strong rotation, finally filling that gap. I'm still watching for it to play out with that double. But this is into another clear path move, so we shouldn't have much resistance to this 486. I'm still watching for this to play out fully. Yeah. So Nat Gas, as long as, again, I think I said this the other day, as long as we're staying above this trend line, I'm in bullish mode short term on Nat Gas. Let's see, Christoph, bad Brazilian crops to come. China buying low U.S. carryouts this year. Yep. Very good information there from Christoph, and that just, again, reinforces the bull case. Lots of bullish potential. I completely agree. There can be some great plays. That's why, again, if you don't trade the futures, at least consider plays in DBA. Okay, that's a nice way to play it too. I love those DBCs for the overall commodity complex and DBA for the ag complex. That's about it. I'm going to go look at some stocks before the stock stream in 30 minutes. I'd love to have everybody there. And again, Wavy, if you're going to be there, if you want to type in or copy and paste in some of the like NVIDIA and other results, we can look at those with those key stocks. Reminder, let's just take one more peek here. Reminder, what do we have again tomorrow morning? I will be doing a live stream, but we have Fed Philly Manufacturing Index. We have unemployment claims, and all that's in the morning. And I will, with these, especially with these doubles, potential doubles, I should say, I will be doing a live stream to see if any of that triggers. And then remember, 10 a.m. Central, we have Bullard speaking and 4 p.m. Mester speaking. So that could throw some fuel on the market, some little fuel for some igniting moves on there. And then we have more on Friday. So it should be a couple interesting days to work to finish up the week. How about OIH? You can play the oil services ETF. I mean, if you want to play, you can play that for oil. Again, I'd be watching for the pullback. I don't like the ETFs that do the oil stuff as much. I think it's much better to play the mini or the micro crude futures, but if you have to play it, I'd be watching for a pullback in this with crude and then a longer term move back up if you're playing the OIH. I didn't know Invesco. Are you talking about the DBA stuff again? Yeah, they're Invesco DB Agriculture Fund and DBC, and that's their commodity index tracking fund. I like both of those, Rich. DBA, DBC. Vastly dropping hard. We'll take a look. I'll take a look at that in the stocks segment. These are the perfect kind of things if you're going to be in the stock segment. Wow, yeah, need to take a look at that big time. So call out some of these in the stock segment. We'll do some analysis, look for key support, and look at some of these longer term projections for them. By the way, again, if you're new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting the like button. Thank you for everybody who's been liking the videos and leaving comments. If you could continue to do it, we're making a strong push to really grow this in the next few months. I'd like to easily just double our subscriber count in the next few months and really make a push to expand this channel more and more. And the more it expands, the more live streams I do. So thank you, everyone. See those people interested in following the stocks in about 30 minutes. Bye.